Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dixon Technologies India Limited Q2 FY22 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and then zero on your touchtone telephone. Please note this conference is recorded. I would now like to hand over the floor to Mr. Naval Seth from Emkay Global. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome the management and thank them for this opportunity. We have with us today Mr. Atul Lall, Vice Chairman and Managing Director, and Mr. Saurabh Gupta, Chief Financial Officer. I shall now hand over the call to Mr. Lall for his opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Naval. Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Atul Lall, and we also have on the call today my colleague, our CFO, Saurabh Gupta. Thank you very much for joining this meeting call for the quarter ended September 2021. The order book in this quarter was very healthy, which has led to a strong performance in an otherwise challenging environment marked by significant raw material price inflation. Basic commodity costs have gone up significantly over the past few quarters at rates that industry has never seen before. However, our profitability has improved sequentially from previous quarter on account of improved operating leverage and calibrated pricing action despite severe input cost inflation. While the team has managed the inflationary pressures of commodity cost extremely well, the commodity environment is still uncertain, and we need to keep this in mind for the upcoming quarters. However, we believe that our strategic approach and the execution of our plans to manage this better than most of our industry peers will stand us in good stead, and we are confident that the second half is going to be much better than the first half, both in terms of revenues and profitability. Now, coming to the financial and operational performance of the quarter, the consolidated revenues for the quarter ended September 30, 2021 was rupees 2,804 crores as against 1,639 crores in the same period last year, which is a growth of 71%. Consolidated EBITDA for the quarter was rupees 111 crores as against 89.6 crores in the same period last year, a growth of 24%. Consolidated PAT for the quarter was 63 crores as against 52 crores in the same period last year, a growth of 20%. Gross margins and EBITDA margin contraction year on year was primarily driven by substantial change in the segment mix with higher increase in share of business from our OEM businesses like LED TVs at 53%, and also the higher commodity prices impacting our ODM business of washing machine and lighting. The company has always maintained a conservative financial profile with an optimal capital structure and investment grade credit rating. We are well positioned with a robust balance sheet with net debt of 41 crores as on 30th September 2021. Our balance sheet strength and enough credit lines from banks enable us to weather any future uncertainty and invest in the long-term development of our business and puts us in an advantageous position as compared to our industry peers. The inventory levels have increased due to advances payment for the securing components and also various supply chain challenges across businesses. However, this remains our key focus area in the company, and it is expected to normalize in the coming quarters with the scale of business now returning to normal levels. Our basic approach to the capital allocation policy emphasizes on return on invested capital and financial stability, and even in this quarter we have successfully delivered a strong ROC and ROE of 30% and 26.1% respectively at the end of Q2, and we feel confident that same will keep improving in the coming quarters and years. Now I'll share with you the performance and the strategy in each of the verticals going forward. Consumer electronics. Revenues for the quarter under review was rupees 1487 crores against 961 crores in the same period last year, a growth of 55%. In the current quarter, the revenues of AC, PCB and reverse logistics business in this particular vertical was rupees 32 crores and 2.4 crores respectively out of 1487 crores. Operating profit witnessed a growth of 34% year-on-year, that is 36 crores in Q2 of financial year 22 against 27 crores in the same period last year. As informed to you earlier, now we have an installed capacity of 5.5 million sets. This is the capacity expansion we had undertaken, which has already been implemented. This includes backward integration in LCM and SMT lines, which is the largest capacity in India and taking care of 35% of the Indian requirement. We have started production of large screen sizes like 70 inches, 75 inches and 85 inches TV. Further capacity of our SMT lines has been increased to 2.7 billion per annum from 1.8 billion. So these expansion plans have already been executed. We have a total area of approximately 500,000 square feet in our integrated campus at Tirupati, which is fully backwardly integrated. We are also now further investing in injection molding and plastic processing for the mechanicals of LED TV, which will start by Q4 of this fiscal. So now we are the most vertically integrated. We have the largest capacity in LED TV, and now we have our own ODM solutions ready. As informed to you earlier in the last quarter, in monitors, we have got orders from the largest global brands, and the production line for this particular SKU has already been installed. We feel that the business execution, order execution in this particular SKU would start from Q4 of this fiscal, hopefully in fact by December of this year. The lines are already installed. The capacity is 1 million LED monitors per annum. The expected volumes in year 1 will be in the range of 0.5 million, and we expect the order book to increase significantly from year 2. The revenue and profitability numbers in this particular SKU would be almost similar to LED TVs. Coming to lighting, the revenues for the quarter witnessed a growth of 34% year on year. We did a top line of 396 crores in Q2 FY 21-22 against 296 crores in the same period last year, and is now back to strong growth trajectory which we have been demonstrating. We have a very healthy order book in this vertical in Q3 also. Operating profit witnessed a growth of 14% year on year. It was 32 crores in Q2 FY 22 against 28 crores in the same period last year. The margin in the lighting business have contracted due to impact of input costs, as there is always a lag in passing on the price increase, and to a large extent we have already been able to do it in Q2. We are India's largest ODM player in lighting, and we have the largest capacity in various SKUs. In LED bulb, we have a capacity of 300 million, which is approximately 50% of the Indian requirement. We have also developed solutions for smart LED bulbs, battens, downlighters, emergency bulbs for various customers. In battens also, our expansion plan has already been executed, and now we have a capacity of 5 million a month out of total Indian requirement of approximately 9 to 10 million a month. Also in downlighters, the capacity execution has already been implemented. Now the capacity is 1.5 million per month against the total Indian requirement of 3 million per month. We are in the process of developing outdoor lighting solutions, and our product portfolio comprises of the street lights and the commercial lights. This will be launched by next year. We have got technical approval for exports of lighting products to Europe, and hopefully now the business execution will start for Europe. For US markets, the approvals are still awaited. We have filed our PLI application in September 21 under the white goods for manufacturing of LED lighting components through our own wholly owned subsidiary in line with our backward integration strategy, which will make this more competitive. The total investment in the PLI project for lighting will be around 100 crores over a period of 5 years, We're expecting the approvals from the government to come within December this year. In home appliances, revenue for quarter saw a growth of 54%. It was 145 crores in Q2 versus in Q2 FY21. It increased to 224 crores in Q2 FY22. Operating profit increased 10% year on year. It was 17 crores in Q2 last year versus 19 crores in the current year. The operating margins were lower at 8.5% due to impact of commodity cost, which has seen an increasing trend since there is always a lag in passing on the price increase to the customers. However, most of the increase has already been passed on in the current quarter. We presently have 160 odd models across semi-automatic category with largest portfolio ranging from 6 kgs to 14 kgs. Recently, we have set up a new plant in Dehradun because the order book was very healthy and the forecast is very healthy for the next fiscal. So the capacity in the semi-automatic category is going to be increased from present capacity of 1.5 million to 2.4 million by FY. This will be done by April, May next year. For the facility of fully automatic top loading, now the plant is operational and we have got our orders from our anchor customer of 30k pieces, and the execution of these orders will start from 15th of November in the next month. Also, we have added 3 new customers in FATL category. We have 96 variants across 6 to 10 kg category with an annual capacity of 6 lakhs. So by April next year, our combined capacity of both semi-automatic and fully automatic top loading would be around 3 million against the Indian requirement of around 7.5 to 7.8 million. So that's a large capacity. Coming to mobile phone and EMS division, revenues for this division for the quarter under review was rupees 599 crores against 197 crores of mobile revenues in the same period last year. This is a growth of 203%. In the current quarter, the revenues of set-top boxes and medical equipment was 74 crores and 3.3 crores respectively out of 599 crores. Operating profit was rupees 19.3 crores in Q2 FY22 as against 16.2 crores in the same period last year. The Motorola mobile business, who is our anchor customer under the PLI scheme, has now ramped up and is stabilized with monthly volumes touching 250k in the current quarter, and our order book for the next quarter is significantly better. We have also finalized Nokia's feature phone business in addition to smartphone that we are currently manufacturing. The production is likely to commence by Q4 of this fiscal with quarterly volumes of around 0.5 million. In addition, we have also added another major customer, ITEL, in the feature phone category. To meet their order book, we are setting up a new factory on lease in Noida with approximately 2 lakh square feet, which will be operational by December, January this year. We have got the first 5G phone order. This is for a new customer, Orbic. This is primarily for export to operators like Verizon in the US market. We are also hopeful and but confident of achieving our threshold revenue targets under the PLI scheme within November this fiscal, that is next month. On Samsung side, the 4G phone order is extremely good. We are already touching almost 0.8 to 1 million every month, and now we've been asked to expand the capacity to 1.5, 1.6 million. We have taken 5 acres of land in Noida and to plan to make a big integrated mobile phone campus in the following year. Set-top box business. As far as set-top box business is concerned, we manufacture 7 lakh set-top boxes for Jio, Dish, TV, steady cable, and others in Q2, and reported revenues of 774 crores with 2.1% operating margins. This business came under pressure due to the supply chain issues and availability of the chipsets for set-top boxes. We have also added new customer in Sun TV in this vertical. Medical electronics, we have sold 136 units of the RT-PCR device. The revenues were around 3.3 crores with a healthy operating margin of 28%. In security surveillance systems, we have seen a very strong growth of almost 149%. The revenues were 99 crores in Q2 FY 21-22 as compared to 40 crores in the same period last year. Operating profit has increased from 1.2 crores in Q2 FY 21 to 4 crores in Q2 FY 22. The order book in this segment is very strong, and we have to go for capacity expansion by setting up a new plant in Kupurthi in Andhra. Coming to new projects, refrigerators, as we've been guiding, the company has kicked off the refrigerator project. We have got the market study done, finalized the product design, appointed a technology partner. Machine ordering has started. We will be having a capacity of 0.6 million DC refrigerators, which will be ramped up to 1 million in phase 2 in the year 23-24. So this will give us a capacity of almost 11 to 12% for the Indian requirement. The product categories will be 170 liters to 220 liters. We have been sanctioned 14 acres of land in Greater Noida, on which this manufacturing footprint would be setting up. We feel that by Q4 of 22-23, we should come into production in this vertical. Laptops, tablets, IT hardware. So our factory has been approved and qualified by one of the largest global brands. And in this vertical also, we have got the PLI approval under the IT hardware category. And the production for this particular global brand would start from within this quarter, in another month or so. Coming to telecom and networking products, we have entered into MOU with Beetel Teletech Limited to form a joint venture through our wholly owned subsidiary Dixon Electro Appliances Private Limited. The JV company will have 51% owned by Dixon and 49% by Aarti Group, and the management will be with Dixon. The JV company has already got the approval from the Ministry of Communications in October 21 under the PLI scheme of the Government of India, and we will start manufacturing GPONs, ONTs, modems, routers and set-top boxes in this particular entity. The agreements between the parties are in the final stage of conclusion and is expected to be executed soon. PLI for AC components, PCB assembly for controllers. We've entered into MOU with Rexxam Company Limited, who are already our partners for the last 4 years, to form a JV through wholly owned subsidiary Dixon Devices Private Limited. The JV company will be 40% owned by Dixon and 60% owned by Rexxam. Rexxam currently outsources to Dixon the assembly of PCB assemblies for Daikin India, and under this JV, the deeply embedded supply chain for Daikin Global from China is going to be shifted to this JV. We have applied under the PLI scheme of Government of India for AC control boards. We have committed an investment of 50 crores over a period of 5 years, and for this PLI also we are expecting approvals to come within the next 30 to 45 days. Coming to next category of wearables and hearables, the Indian market is really booming in this. We have already started manufacturing TWS for Boat, which is one of the most prominent brands, not only at Indian level but at the global level. And we are furthering deepening our relationship with Boat at a strategic level, which will be sharing you the details shortly. In this also, the Government of India is expected to roll out the PLI scheme, which will be pursuing vigorously. So I would just like to stop now, and me and Saurabh are there to address any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your turn to ask the question. If you would like to withdraw your request, you may do so by pressing star and 1 again. Participants are requested to restrict to 2 questions per person during the initial round. So our first question from Renu Beth from IIFL. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Renu.
Yeah, hi. Good performance. So, 3 questions from my side. First, you did mention in terms of a lot of initiatives in terms of new customers, new segments within the mobile phone category. Progress, can you help us update in terms of how have been the progress in terms of ramp up, and how are we expecting next 6 months to gear up, both for the smartphones and the PLI, as well as for the core X of the smartphones on the feature phone and the sideline of the business? I just want to check if, given the fact that Jio phones are getting launched and there is and we are seeing a structural trend of decline in the feature phone market, you think the Nokia and the Itel edition that you have received would be more of a 3 to 5 year opportunity until this market eventually diminishes in terms of size?
So Renu, you have put across very aptly. One, to update on our execution status and also the order book under the PLI. So the ramp up after the initial challenges has stabilized fairly well. We are currently at a level of approximately 250K, and we are fairly confident that this is going to be increasing significantly by 30-40% more in the forthcoming quarter. So we are going to be much above the upward ceiling prescribed under the PLI, and we are confident of executing it. So the business looks good now, and the good and the positive aspect of this particular business is that majority of the revenues from our anchor customer are coming from global markets. Second, as always has been a strategy, that we want to keep on acquiring customers. So acquisition of customers as of now has happened in the feature phone category, and both the names that I shared with you, Nokia and Itel, are the topmost brand as far as the feature phone is concerned. But what you said is very correct, is very true, and that's the way it's going to happen. That feature phone is an industry, is a category which is going to be under pressure. But then once the relationship starts, and we are hopeful and we are confident that we are going to migrate to 4G and possibly 5G. So for Nokia, we're already doing it. For other brands, we feel confident that we should be able to get into that.
Right, because Itel is a part of the Chinese Transsion group, so that can add up significant potential volumes if that comes through as PLI also for us.
That's right.
Sure. So second question is, yes, I think a good part of the price increase is reflected in relative improvement for the washers portfolio. But given that plastic, specifically PV and other prices have again jumped very sharply in the last 1.5 months, how should we look at the margin profile and the ability to entirely transmit the price increase in the washers? And also alongside, we will also have the scale up for Bosch. So probably, do you think that second half FY22 could have continued headwinds for the washers margin profile because of the ramp up cost and cost headwinds?
So again on this, Renu, your understanding is fairly correct. The commodity super cycle continues, and it's harsh. And you know that in our ODM business, there is a lag in passing on the price increase to the customers. And initially there is a hesitancy that whatever may be your contract, and it takes time. So finally we are confident that it's going to be passed on. But yes, the margin profile is going to be under challenge for some time, because there is still a lot of volatility on the commodity side. Although lately I see in the last 2 weeks that the freight rates have come down by almost 30%. But then, yeah, one has to wait and watch, and this whole margin profile has to be under lens, you know.
Got it. And the last question is on automation and factory optimization measures. If you can help us understand what are the various initiatives across the different segments. We had planned it initially for LED bulbs. How is it ramping across other segments, and how are you working in terms of digitalizing some of the factory lines and bringing in the cost savings and efficiencies? Thank you.
So, I think I had shared with the house last time that we have partnered with Siemens for our MES and for our path to Industry 4.0. So Siemens is the gold standard globally for this particular industry process. So this project has already been launched. To start with, this has been launched in a LED TV plant and our FATL plant, the new plant, right? This has a timeline of around 8 to 12 months, but one can, I feel, start seeing some tangible results by February, March. Now, once I'm convinced about it, then this relationship is going to be extended to others. At the same time, we are talking to, particularly for a mobile division, because we want to benchmark globally the best. We are in discussions with some global consultants for doing this benchmarking exercise for us. So that's the way we are. So we are extremely conscious of these initiatives and we're going to be pursuing them aggressively.
Sure. Any capex that we have in mind for these kind of initiatives or savings anticipated thereafter?
So I've not been able to put in a specific figure on the savings, but this Siemens partnership is going to cost us almost 7 crores.
Got it. Sure. Thank you so much and all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. The next question from Bhumika Nair from DAM Capital. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, good evening, sir, and congratulations for a good set of numbers. Just extending on the previous question on the mobile segment, if one, you could just kind of, you spoke about the volume number in the quarter being around 250K and kind of scaling up. How would it kind of split up between smart and feature phones, and, how much is one looking at from Nokia and ITEL? And if I could also get the overall volume details for the quarter, that would be my second question. So
there are two revenue streams here. One is the non-PLI revenue stream, another one is the PLI revenue stream. So what I'm sharing with you, Bhumika, is the PLI revenue stream. So the current volumes of the PLI revenue stream for a smartphone is around 300K a month, 325K a month for the various customers that we have, which we feel in the next quarter is going to go up to around 450. Okay. And then under the PLI scheme, we are going to be launching the feature phone, which we are targeting to start from the next quarter. And this business is going to be almost $1 million a month.
Okay. Which would be from the Nokia and ITEL in this segment. And ex-PLI, sir?
So that's the other business of Samsung, which is a large number. So therein, the 2G phone is around $1 million, and the 4G is presently around $1 million. It is going to go up to 1.5, 1.6.
Okay. So the other question is on the TV segment. If one looks at it, we've done quite well. We've ramped up. We've added customers quite regularly and moved into the higher inch TV size TVs. Now, how do we see growth out here over the next 2 to 3 years, or will it be more kind of industry-driven growth?
So one, in this particular vertical, it will be industry-driven growth, and we're trying our best to acquire some more share of certain brands. I can't give you the granular level details, but we are trying to acquire a larger share. So industry growth plus larger share plus backward integration piece plus LED monitor piece.
Okay. And lastly, on lighting, you spoke about the EU approval coming through. Can you, while obviously the market is fairly large for us to kind of tap into, but what is the kind of volumes or what kind of revenues can we scale up to in the next 2 to 3 years? And I'll come back in the queue for more questions.
So it's too early to put numbers to it because it's a journey, and the first major milestone in the journey was the technical approval. So good for us is the European approval, because that approval exercise itself takes 5 to 6 months, have come through and we're clean now. Right? So we are in final stages of negotiations with some European brands, and hopefully we should have a breakthrough. In the US market, the approvals are still under process. we feel it's going to take a couple of months for those approvals to come through. So for me to put a number to it is very, very difficult. However, please appreciate that the global market for a single SKU like LED bulbs is around $8 to $9 billion. So if they're having those breakthroughs, then the opportunity is large. But it's very difficult, and it's not going to be prudent of me to put a number to those things at this stage.
Right, sir. Thank you very much and all the best. I'll come back in the queue, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question from Mr. Ankur Sharma from HDFC Life. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Good afternoon, and congrats on a good quarter. Firstly, if you could talk about the LED monitor business, what is the kind of volume you're looking at? I think you mentioned you start production from Q4. So what kind of volumes do you expect in going into next year? What is the average ASP? And what kind of revenues can you get from this business? And also, can you share which brands are you or have you tied up with?
So LED monitor, the capacity is 1 million. We feel that in year one, we should be able to do 0.5 million. We should be able to reach 1 million from year two. The average, this is going to be a 19 inches monitor to start with. And the average SKU is going to be somewhere around 8,000 rupees. The margin profile is going to be similar as TV, but in this, because there are certain PMA conditions of the Government of India, the backward integration piece would be deeper. And so we feel that in the year one itself, we should be able to generate a revenue of around 400 to 450 crores. On the customer side, please be rest assured they are the largest global brands. Due to certain confidentiality agreements, I'm not able to share the names as of now. We'll be making the suitable announcement shortly.
Sure, makes sense. So second, if you could talk about the laptop PLI as well. I think there you said you're starting production from Q4. Again, what kind of volumes / revenues and margins are you looking at over the next, say, FY23, 24?
You're referring to IT products?
Yeah, the laptop IT products, yeah.
So there are upward ceilings under the PLI scheme. And in year two, it's 600 crores.
So it is basically, Ankur, it's 300 crores for this year. Of course, this year we'll only have 3 to 4 months of operations. But next year it is 600 crores. And then it is 1,600 crores. And the fourth year it is 2,400 crores. So basically, we feel confident that we will broadly be able to touch that ceiling revenue. So again, as Mr. Lal mentioned, we have already tied up with one of the largest global brands. And clearly we start the production by December, January. So we feel confident that the ceiling revenues are achievable, and we will strive towards that.
Okay, perfect. And just one more on the lighting side. I think you've been talking about starting exports. I think you've been exploring customers outside India as well. So where are we on that one, on the lighting side?
So Ankur, as I shared, in lighting, particularly when you're exploring markets like US and Europe, you need the safety approvals of each brand's products that they're going to buy. So we have recently, around 4 weeks back, got the approvals on the technical side from Europe, from the European labs, and the US approvals, I think are going to take another couple of months. So we are ready to launch the product in Europe now, and we are fairly confident that we'll have the breakthroughs in a month or so.
Okay, fair. And just one last one on the capex, because we are looking at a number of PLI schemes. I think you've spoken about quite a few new plants being set up. So what kind of capex numbers can you share for 22 and 23, broad numbers?
So till now, we have done a capex of 165 crores. And because the opportunities in front of us are very large, and we are going to pursue all of them because those opportunities look real good. We are planning another capex of almost 320 odd crores in the next 6 months.
Okay, and this includes, because there's some news articles on a plant for being acquired from Bharti, right, on the telecom side. So that's another 200 odd crores. So that includes, that's included in this 3.2 billion rupees you spoke. Is that right? Or,
That's right.
okay. Got it. Okay, sir. Great. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Next question from Mr. Aditya from Investec. Please go ahead, sir.
Hi, good evening, sir. So you
Hi,
spoke about
Aditya.
Samsung. Hi, sir. So you spoke about Samsung smartphone, and if I heard it right, we were speaking about almost 1 million units per month, which can be expanded to 1.5 million. So does that mean that this contract is going to be even larger than, let's say, what we already have from Motorola and from some of the other PLI customers?
So, Aditya, you know that this is on consignment basis, and at present, the 4G production for Samsung is the first level of manufacturing at SKD state. So, it's not exactly comparable, but the volume is very large and the operating leverage is very large with no working capital intensity. So, the profile of the two businesses is different.
Okay, so the scope of work that we'll be doing will be very different, is it?
That's right.
Okay. And would you anticipate this relationship to be developing into something much bigger, and the scope of work to be increasing from here on? Because Samsung itself has a fairly large facility, and that's why I'm kind of asking this question.
No, it's going to be much larger, please be rest assured, and it's going to be much more deepened also.
Okay, perfect. And sir, you mentioned about reaching the ceiling limit for PLI in November itself for this year. Basis what all customers we have already added, how does it look like for the next year? Given that it does appear that some of the other companies that have applied for PLI would be missing their targets. Would you anticipate a similar trend to be continuing for next 2 years as well?
Yeah, the order book looks very healthy. And as per the revised guidelines under the PLI scheme for mobiles, the upward ceiling for the year 2, because the next year becomes year 2, is 4,000 crores. And we are closely monitoring what our peers are doing. And we are fairly confident that we are going to be much ahead of the ceiling.
Okay. And so lastly, you spoke about some new customer additions on washing machine side. Sorry, I missed those details. Was it on the semi-automatic side or top load side?
So in semi-automatic category also, we have added new customers in tier 2 and tier 3 category because they're doing well. And we were having capacity constraints, so we were not able to execute that business. Now with the capacity expansion already in place, those tier 2, tier 3 brands are coming into our customer basket. What I specifically mentioned was that one, of course, is our anchor customer in FATL and fully automatic top loading. We have added 3 more customers in FATL.
Okay. And any sense that you can give on the likely volumes for those customers, sir?
So each customer is somewhere in the range of around 25 to 30K a year.
Understood. That's very helpful, sir. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question from Sonali Salgaonkar from Jefferies India. Please go ahead.
So thank you for the opportunity and congratulations on a great set of numbers. So my first question is regarding the telecom PLI. So could you please share with us the broader contours of this, the ceiling revenues, and what are your expectations of ramping up over here?
So, Sonali, basically, it will be a 51-49% JV with Beetel, which is, of course, a Bharti company. And the numbers, the initial numbers that we think and the kind of visibility that has been shown by the Bharti Group is basically we're looking at anywhere between 1,400 to 1,600 crore revenues next year. And overall, in the next 5 years, the JV would have a potential to generate revenues of somewhere around anywhere between 8 to 9,000 crores. So these are broad initial numbers. And of course, the anchor customer will be Airtel. But of course, this can manufacture for other players as well. So we are also in discussions with other players as well. And clearly, we got the approval under the PLI in mid of October. So now we start up and we start manufacturing by Q4, somewhere in Q4. And clearly, we see that this kind of numbers which I just mentioned are definitely achievable. The ceiling numbers, of course, would be so these numbers I'm including taking into account the set-top boxes. Set-top boxes, of course, are not part of the PLI. The ceiling numbers that are mentioned for the telecom product is around 6,600 odd crores. So broadly, yeah, so the 8 to 9,000 crores would be the potential numbers under the PLI for the next 5 years, which will be 51, 49% shared by Dixon and V2.
Got it. And my second question is regarding the chip shortages globally. Do you foresee this as a risk over the coming quarters? I mean, we have done much better than what our industry peers have done. So, I mean, what was our strategy? Because none of the segments have been affected by the chip shortages so far, except the set-top boxes that you talked about.
So undoubtedly, the supply chain challenges, the price increases, the volatility in the pricing continues to be there. But I think because of the nimbleness of a concerned operating team, we have been able to do fine. Across the various product categories, let's say washing machine, in this current month, we're going to do our highest ever sale. It's going to be a record sale. Same is the case in TVs. Also, the lighting we've been able to execute well. But the supply chain challenges continue to be there. If they're going to abate, if they're going to subside, I keep my fingers crossed. But yeah, you have to be nimble, you have to put everything under the lens and execute well. That's what we are endeavoring to do. So that's the kind of thing. However, in certain things, I'm seeing that there is melting down. There is some decrease in the freight rates. So let's see how it pans out. But the current quarter looks fine, and even the next quarter we feel that we're going to be fine. However, the challenges are going to be there.
Got it, sir. So, and lastly, just one clarification. You mentioned 3.2 billion rupees of capex in the next 6 months. And have we already done 1.6 billion in H1? So the cumulative for FY22, should we look at it as 1.6 plus 3.2?
It's going to be 1.6 plus 3.2.
Yeah, Sonali, that's the right understanding. So it will be around 4.5, 4.8 billion.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question from Ankush Agarwal from DPR. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Lal. Thanks for taking my question. So, I wanted your sense on how are we looking to share our PLI benefits between customers. So, for example, in a mobile PLI scheme, like you've already mentioned that Nokia and Motorola would be taking up for the most part of the ceiling. So, for a new customer like Orbic, which comes up, what is left on the table for these guys?
So, well, it will be very difficult for me to share with you the granular level details of how the value chain works. But depending upon the customer, depending upon the nature of the business, the PLI benefit is shared across various customers. I mean, that's the only statement I can share as of now, please.
Okay. So would it be a right assumption that Dixon in the end won't be having any, would not be retaining any part of the PLI benefits?
I'm not able to share these details, please, because
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And sorry. Yeah. Lastly, now since most of the PLI business is on the prescription basis, and that is what is going to be a larger share of a business going ahead. So what do you think margin is going to stabilize in the long run, like say over next 5 years or so, since almost 80-90% of business might come from the prescription business going ahead?
So we feel as of now the margins are going to be somewhere in the range of 4%, pushing up slightly. So they're going to be in the range of 4.5%. However, if in a couple of years we are able to execute and implement our backward integration strategy well, also we are able to migrate more and more to ODM, then the margin profile can have some push upwards. But as of now, they're going to be range of around 4 to 4.5%.
Okay. This is assuming our existing PLI businesses scales up and they remain in the prescription business.
That's right.
Right. Okay, got it. That was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question from Mr. Akshay Kumar. He's an individual investor. Please go ahead, sir.
Hi, good evening, sir. Congrats on our great set of numbers. So my first question is on the guidance that you've given for this particular fiscal year, which is closer to between 11.5 to 12,000 crores. So this actually indicates to an extremely strong sequential growth in the next couple of quarters. Are we on track to hit that, or would we have an updated guidance?
Yeah, Akshay, so your understanding is absolutely right. We feel despite the challenges on the supply chain side, we feel confident that Q3 will be sequentially better than Q2 because the mobile business is now completely ramped up. That would generate a decent portion of our revenues in Q3, Q4, and the new verticals that we are getting into. So we feel confident that broadly the numbers that you have mentioned, somewhere between 11.5 to 12,000 crores is what we are looking at for this fiscal year.
Thanks. And just a follow-up on this. So one is on the lines of, so you had mentioned that there was a lot of the capex that goes into setting up the entire mobile infrastructure. And given that now you've got operating leverage on your side, can we expect expansion in margins closer towards at 4% this year itself? And given that you have won a fair amount of PLI schemes and there are a couple more coming along, what kind of revenue growth can we expect probably for the following fiscal year, following couple of fiscal years?
So we feel, as shared with you, that this fiscal we should be somewhere between 11.5 to 12. Next year, we feel confident we should be somewhere between 16 to 17,000 crores.
Beyond that, actually, it will be very difficult for us to give any numbers because a lot of moving parts are there. But yeah, for this year, 11.5 to 12, and for next year, 16 to 17,000.
And just the other question that I asked was around the operating leverage that's going to kick in on the mobile business.
Yeah, so operating leverage benefit will play out across all the verticals with the increase in volumes. It has already played out across the TV vertical. But basically, it will continue to play out around all the verticals, including mobile. So as we increase the volumes in Q3, Q4, definitely you will see the margin expansion happening in mobiles, which will lead to an overall margin expansion happening at the company level. And also, we are focusing more on backward integration, which is part of our strategy, and more migration to ODM. So these three levers, operating leverage, ODM, as well as backward integration, should increase my margins. But since most of the growth happening going forward will be in the prescriptive business, so the broader margins that we're looking for is around in the range of 4 to 4.5% in the short term.
So please appreciate the strategy across each vertical has been to pick up a vertical, build up a large scale, which takes some time, acquire an anchor customer, keep on adding more customers, deepen the manufacturing, have a deep dive into your analysis and capability on the ODM side. And if you feel that you have the skill set, then make an attempt at it. That's a simple strategy to follow. And that's what we're going to do across the new verticals also. So scale will be important to generate the operating leverage, which I feel is going to help us in margin expansion.
And would the exports also be a part of the margin expansion once that kicks in with probably the lighting products and so on?
So undoubtedly, see, as I've shared, and that we are pursuing very vigorously the export market for LED lighting. In the case of mobiles, almost 60 to 70% of our revenues are going to come from the global market. And in the earlier discussion also I shared that we're going to be pursuing the FATL production for global market. That production and manufacturing is just about to start in a couple of weeks. And we already have some traction for exports from very large global brands. So global markets is going to be something we're going to pursue. But at present, it's at a very nascent stage.
Got it. Thanks a lot, Atul, Saurabh. All the best for future quarters.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that would be the last question. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. The next question from Mr. Lokesh Garg from Credit Suisse. Please go ahead, sir.
Hi, sir. My question pertains to the LED TV segment. Basically, we have been doing this segment for a while, and now we are sort of increasing vertical integration in that with plastic injection molding and possibly other parts. Now, is there a meaningful change in margin trajectory that we should assume, because we have been doing, let's say, within 2 to 3% band for a long while now? With this vertical integration step, does it scale up and does it become an example for other segments to follow then?
Yeah. So, for example, lighting, our application. So in consumer electronics also, as you would have seen that, as I shared with you, that we've already increased our PCBA capacity to 2.7 million from 1.8 million. Now that's a backward integration process which is going to expand the margin. And we're also committing capex for installing the injection molding capacity for doing the mechanicals for TV, which is again towards it's an effort for expanding the margins. Yeah.
Subjectively agree, but just wanted an objective guidance also, in the sense that can the 3 become 6 with these 2 step-ins in vertical integration?
Sorry, you're not very clear and audible. Can you again repeat?
Yes. Yeah, basically what I was asking is, can, let's say, margins, because we are at a very low level today, 3% only or below 3, can we get to or aim at something like 5 or 6 with PCBA and injection molding in our fold now?
No, I don't think so. You see, please appreciate, Lokesh, that this is a pass-through business. This is a prescriptive business. In the last particular fiscal, because of the commodity increase and display price increase, the unit value has gone up. The unit value, in our case, which used to be around 11 to 11,500 rupees, in last quarter is somewhere around 17,000 rupees. Now your conversion charge does not go up correspondingly. It's a different element in the value chain. So as a percentage, you will find that it comes under pressure. But if you look at the gross numbers, which is being reflected in a significant expansion in the in the profits, in the operating profit, not as a margin, but as operating profit. That's being reflected there. Are you getting my point?
Yes. Yes, I'm getting it. Just that probably we were expecting a meaningful delta in percentage terms also, that you are saying is not necessarily immediate. Correct. My second question sort of leads from there only. You alluded in your opening remarks that there is an ODM solution ready in TVs. Earlier you were suggesting that there is some challenge related to Android system and all that. What is the progress, and are we making some progress in talking to customers also then in that segment, in that product?
So the solution is ready, but still Google has not opened up on giving Android licensing. So this business to ramp up will take some time. We're pursuing with Google, but the licenses are still not coming through.
Okay, sure. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, sir. The next question from Mr. Aditya from Investec. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello, sir. So just wanted to understand on the capex bit, given that we'll be spending another 320 crore rupees in H2, if possible, if you could just give a broad breakup of what all this CapEx is entailing, and would a significant proportion of refrigerator CapEx be also happening this year itself?
Yeah, so basically broad numbers would be that we will have, we are in the process of buying a land bank in Greater Noida. So that would be basically a 20 acres land bank in Greater Noida. That would entail a capex of 55-60 crores in that. And that will be majorly for the refrigerator project and the backward integration of lighting, LED lighting components. So 60 crores is basically that. And also the refrigerator project, the total capex for 0.7 million will be somewhere in the range of around 200 crores. So part of that payment, almost 40% of that capex will go as payments towards the advance, towards the plant and machinery. So almost broadly, so that makes it almost 110 odd crores. And there are other capexes. One, of course, we are in the process of finalizing our agreements and concluding our agreements with Beadle. So we are buying, in addition to a plant in Noida where we will do our telecom and networking products, we're also buying their Beetle plant. So there is an acquisition value attached to it. I will be able to disclose that once we sign the agreements and disclose to the markets. But that is one capex which is projected in the short term. Then apart from that, there is a
one is we're going to be spending almost 40 crores in capacity expansion in washing machine semi-automatic in Dehradun and the new plant, Aditya. And then we will also be making some small capexes for meeting the threshold requirement for our IT hardware. And then there is a regular capacity expansion and other capex across all the other verticals. Just like we are going to be expanding our capacity in CCTV also. So yeah, it's a mix of all this. And also the Rexxam JV also. So there also we've applied for, and once we get the approval, then there's a capex which is we have to do as part of the first year capex. So all this put together, we are looking at these numbers.
Understood. And any guidance or indication that you can give for next year as well?
So those numbers are still to be frozen. It's slightly premature. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Aditya.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. Now I hand over the floor to the management for closing comments.
So thanks very much, and thanks very much, Naval and MK, and all the ladies and gentlemen who have joined this call. Thanks very much for all your support at all times.
Yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you for all your support. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we conclude your conference for today. Thank you for your participation and for using Doorsabha's conference call service. You may disconnect your lines now. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.